Hey there! Welcome to this edition of In the Mission Field. My name's Chris Rich. I'm a Christian and I'm also a poker player. Now it's Monday, November 20th, 2023, and I'm at Red Rock Casino in the Summerlin area of Las Vegas. I'm going to play here today. I might play here tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday I will be down on the Strip. And I'm not sure, at least one of those days I will play in Caesars. The other day I might play in the Venetian, the Aria, or the Wynn. I'm trying to change it up nowadays and get to different casinos, different poker rooms. But my hope is to play probably 2 days a week in Caesars on the Strip, and then change up and hit some of the other casinos. So not much to talk about here today. I've only played twice since I've been back in Las Vegas. One day was at Santa Fe Station, which I'm not very fond of, extremely smoky, and really messed with my sinuses, which had cleared up in Tahoe, but now not doing too great again. I really think it has a lot to do with the smoke. Red Rock, not so smoky. A much newer casino, a much nicer casino, and so I'm here today. One of the reasons I came here last week is because the Formula One racing was down on the Strip, and so it was probably kind of a madhouse. I can't say for sure. I just know that I didn't want to go down there and check it out at all, so I didn't go down there. And that was the case with a lot of players. A lot of people were out at other casinos. Red Rock had a ton of people and a bunch of games going when I played earlier, or rather last week, late in the week last week. And really all I wanted to say was one thing I noticed on the table. Now I had talked about being in a tournament up at Tahoe, and somebody just talking about cocaine out in the open, and about how he was just feeling bad from doing so much the night before. And then another guy spoke up, and another guy spoke up, and the dealer even spoke up, and they were all but the big thing there, just being so out in the open about that. Now here at Red Rock, I kind of ran into the same situation pertaining to F1, Formula One racing. A couple of the poker players on the table were talking, and one of the players off the table was just standing behind them. We're talking about why they were there, not wanting to go down to the Strip, being so many people. So they were here at Red Rock, and one of the players was asking the other player, what some of his poker playing friends were doing, and he was mentioning that a lot of them were at parties or going to parties. He knew of a couple parties in penthouses down on the Strip, and just right out there in the open said, this one party that I know of that's on the Strip, they're gonna, they got a penthouse, they're gonna be watching Formula One, they got hookers, and they got a bunch of blow. And the other player on the table was just really into that. He's like, hey, wow, let's is that something we can go to? So what's my point here? My point is not that type of conversation occurs. It always has occurred, and I've seen a lot of it in the past. But the thing about it that really strikes me is just how prevalent and how out in the open that kind of stuff is these days. As our society continues to go down the road it's on. And move further and further away from God, further and further away from the Bible, and further away from God's teaching, we continue to see a moral decline, and we continue to see people lose their guidepost for what morals actually are and where they come from. So when all things become subjective, nobody really has any place to stand on, any place to look at, and say, well, that's true morals, that's true judgment, true law. This is what's truly right and truly wrong, because all things become subjective. And so I just wanted to talk about that, and say that is out there. That is something I'm witnessing constantly, and more. As time goes on, and I just think as Christians we need to start speaking up, and we need to. When I say that, I don't mean speaking up in a necessarily a judgmental way, or speaking up in a condemning way of of anger or combativeness towards people. What I mean is, I think we really need to see this as a call to action. We really need to start to try to have these conversations with people. Try to just strike up a conversation with people and try to get into the Word of God. Try to get into the gospel, and really, this is our call to share that. The more we turn away from that as Christians, the more we are scared, or try not to involve ourselves in these conversations, or just kind of maybe withdraw. The more we can just sit back and watch our society decay. And I really think that we need to get out there as Christians and just start to talk, start to speak up, start to have these good conversations with people, start to talk about where morals come from, and what true right and wrong principles are out there, and where that actually comes from, and the fact that that's only based on God, because everything else is subjective. So that's all I have for today. I will be talking to you guys again soon. I'll be out. I've only been out a couple days last week since I got back from Tahoe. I'll be out, try to get out 4 days this week, today, tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday are going to be long days for me down on the Strip. And so maybe I'll run into you. Maybe I'll see you down there. If I see anyone or you see me, feel free to say hey. Great talking to you. Thanks for tuning in. May God bless you and those you love.